Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey has announced that they will be closing and demolishing 5 rides to prepare for a multi-world record-breaking launched roller coaster coming in 2026. And in this video, I will talk about each ride that's closing and giving my theory for what this new coaster could be. So, let's start with the elephant in the room and address the biggest part of this news. After this year, the world's tallest coaster and the fastest coaster in North America, Kingda will be no more. Now, this had been rumored for a few weeks, and at first I didn't believe it, but then I saw more and more posts about it, and I was like, maybe they're on to something. And finally, after Green Lantern's closure, something we'll talk about a bit later, it seemed more like it would happen. And then today, they did finally announce that November 10th was your last day to ever ride this ride, which is sad because now there are 0 original stratas left. I'm not counting Top Thrill 2 because that was a redo by Zamperla. Kingda was built by Intamin and opened in May 2005 as only the second strata coaster in the world behind the original Top Thrill dragster, which opened in 2003. That was 420 feet tall and hit speeds of 120 miles per hour. But Kingda was about to crush it and take its world records, because when it opened, it was the tallest, fastest roller coaster to ever exist. And this ride was 456 feet tall, beating the previous record from Top Thrill Dragster by 36 feet, and 128 miles per hour, beating the previous record for fastest roller coaster by 8 miles per hour. And it was basically the same layout as Top Thrill Dragster, only with a 129 foot tall airtime hill after the top hat. Well, this ride was pretty popular, mostly with the general public because of how tall it was, but it had its fair share of issues, most noticeably the restraints. So after Top Thrill Dragster closed, people were speculating that Kingda might close to be revamped too. They just weren't expecting it to be this soon. Next ride to get demolished will be Green Lantern. It opened in 2011 to promote the movie starring Ryan Reynolds and was a B&M stand-up coaster that replaced Great American Scream Machine. Originally opening as Chang at Kentucky Kingdom in 1997, this B&M was dismantled in 2009 when its original park closed, and then was moved to Six Flags Great America for the 2010 season. However, it wasn't built there, as Great America decided to add a water park addition instead. So it was moved to Great Adventure and built there, replacing Great American Scream Machine, which by that point had gotten very rough and painful. This ride stands 154 feet tall with a 144-foot drop, and it boasted 5 inversions, which were pretty common on this type of coaster. It started with a drop into a vertical loop, and then after that it would go into a dive loop, followed by an inclined loop, which isn't really an inversion, but RCDB counts it, and 2 corkscrews. So, a very basic layout for this stand-up coaster, and it wasn't very popular. In fact, it was rumored to go before Kingda, so this one wasn't as much of a shock to the enthusiast community as Ka's departure was. Zoom and Gyro Drop of Doom is also on its way out, which shouldn't be shocking to anyone considering it is connected to Kingda. This was formerly the world's tallest drop tower, standing at 415 feet. It was built in 2014. It could hold 3 gondolas, and the most notable part of it was when it dueled Kingda, as in dropping at the same time as the roller coaster was going down its drop. This drop tower was built by Intamin and opened in 2014. And what makes it unique is that it's actually attached to the steel's substructure of the ride's supports. So technically it doesn't have its own supports. It relies on Kingda, which means that since Kingda is leaving, this ride will have to go too. Although it was probably a big maintenance headache for the park, which is because it was down most of the time, since there was a law in New Jersey saying that it couldn't run at the same time as Kingda for safety reasons. So I'm sure the park will not miss it, and I'm sure at some point further on down the road they will get another drop tower, since this was a pretty big gap that's about to be left in their lineup. Speaking of gaps on the lineup, the 4th ride that'll be demolished is Twister, the park's Hoos Top Spin. This is very sad, as there aren't many of these rides left in the world, and they are genuinely quite fun. The goal is to flip you upside down as many times as possible, and to go upside down 7 times on this ride, kind of like an SNS 40 free spin, only a lot more controlled. Then you rock back and forth a few times before the big finale, where the gondola you're sitting in lifts you and all the other riders up all the way to the maximum height its arms can go. Then it tilts you face down so you're looking at the ground, and slowly plunges downward in a very thrilling moment before dropping you and rocking you again. So, very unique flat ride, and I'm quite sad that we will have one less left in the world after this year. And the final ride getting torn down is another unique flat ride, the Parachute Drop Tower. This has been SBNO, standing but not operated, since 2022, so I feel its removal was inevitable. Yet it's still sad, since these are genuinely fun rides, and they're even rarer than the top spins. I think now one of the only places in the US you can go ride one is Little America in Mitchell, Wisconsin, and it's much smaller than this one. So yeah, this is a pretty big loss. Anyway, what type of multi-launch coaster could possibly replace these 5 rides? The first option I'm thinking, and the most likely one, is a Mock Rides Extreme Spinner, similar to Time Traveler, or Ride to Happiness. We already know that Six Flags Great Adventure put out a survey a bit earlier this year asking how people would feel about getting a 400-foot tall shuttle spinning coaster. So it seems likely we could be getting that, but Knock Ride's only taller and longer than Full Circuit. That would be really fun, especially if it's something like Time Traveler, where there's a controlled spin so you don't get motion sick. I think this would be the best, because there are only 2 or 3 of them left, and it would be easy to make a record breaker with this. Plus, then you can have a 90-degree drop at 400 feet, kinda get the same thrilling feeling you got from Kingda. The second option would be a Premier Rides multi-launch coaster similar to Alpen Fury at Canada's Wonderland, which has 9 inversions. And I'm thinking if they go this route, they could go try to beat the inversion record for North America. Maybe 10, 11, even 14 inversions, perhaps, tying the world record or beating it with 15. Really, I feel like this would be the choice if they wanted a gimmick coaster, which I'm hoping they don't, since Kingda was a gimmick coaster and they already have plenty of those. And the final and least likely option, in my opinion, is an S&S Axis coaster. This would be an easy record to beat, since currently the only ones coming will be 35 miles per hour, so really anything faster than that would break the world record for fastest Axis coaster. Although, I think it's more likely we'll see an Axis coaster at Magic Mountain first, and I don't think we'd eventually get one, although if they ever did, it would probably be years in the future. Now I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think is coming in 2026? The B&M, Intamin, Vekoma, something else entirely? Please put your predictions down in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. If you could like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you all next time with another new video. Bye!